Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we are trying out some new products that I have seen pretty viral on TikTok, and then two items that just got released by Huda Beauty that I don't know if it's something that we needed. The Huda Creamy Obsessions. We talk about it, we discuss, we try out some new makeup, things that have been viral all over my TikTok For You page. But you guys, before we jump into it, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos. And if you like this video, make sure to hit a big thumbs up. But if you want to see how I got this look, what my thoughts are on some of these products, just keep watching. Okay, we're kicking this video off with two new 9-pan palettes from Huda Beauty. These are the creamy eyeshadow palettes. Or are they Creamy Obsessions? So there's Greige Creamy Obsessions, which the color story is very pretty, very cool tone. You have some of the pale pink shades with some grays. And the interesting thing about this, they're all creams except for one. In Greige, it's this shade right here. It's clear. I'm not sure. I haven't swatched them yet. But I'm looking at these and I'm very intrigued. All the shadows are supposed to be cream except for one powder, which is meant to set your eyeshadows. And we'll definitely dive into that. Then we have the Neutral Brown Creamy Obsessions. This looks a lot like the chocolate palette or some of the other neutral obsessions that I have. And then this one is the set shade. I do want to swatch these. They look quite interesting. So you got the warm tones, you got the cool tones, depends on what you're looking for. I'm intrigued, but also confused. An all cream eyeshadow palette. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. Let me go ahead and swatch these real quick and then we'll dive in. Okay, let's start with the neutral brown swatches. The shades are quite beautiful for being neutral browns. They have nice undertones. They all swatched really nice, very creamy and buttery to the touch. For me, being an oily skin gal, I have concerns about the cream being on my eyelid. I do use the P. Louise base, so hopefully that helps. But also, I will use the set shade to kind of mattify it down and hope it dries and stays in place. The shimmers are really pretty. This shade right here is kind of a chunky glitter, whereas the other two in the bottom row are a little more fine milled with glitter. Okay, for the Greige Obsessions, they swatched okay, but they're very pale on me, so they kind of disappeared. When you look at the swatches, it's like every other one is missing. Of course, the set shade is very pale. I think they're supposed to be translucent shades when you go and set down on top of the creams. The darker shades are really pretty, nice cool undertones. This shimmer shade right here is so beautiful. It's not as chunky as the one in the Neutral Brown Obsessions, but it is very beautiful, sparkly, glittery. And then the other two, which this one, the marble effect that we're used to seeing from Huda Beauty, is kind of a graphite silver. It is very pretty, not a lot of glitter, nor is there in this shade right here. So I'm not even sure which way I'm going to go with these. I don't know if I want to do the neutral browns or try out the Greige. But either way, I think what I'm going to do, whichever palette I don't use in this portion of the video, I will try and do a makeup tutorial towards the end using it so that you guys can see both of the shadow palettes together. Okay, I think I'm going to use the Greige Creamy today. I'm very intrigued to see what this looks like. The shades, like I said, are very pale for the lighter tones. So here goes nothing. I'm going to start right here with this pale pink shade. This shade is way too light for my skin tone. I think it'll just be washed out. And I am using my Huda Beauty Fluffy Crease Brush. I think it came out in the Rose Quartz collection. So this is giving some color payoff. I don't know if you can see it on camera. looks like there's nothing there. See if I can build it up a little bit. Like, I don't want to dig into it because it is a cream product, but I also feel like I shouldn't have to work this hard to make it like buildable. Oh, okay. I think I'm going to dip into this gray shade. See if we can deepen this up a little bit. Still on the fluffy crease brush. I don't know if you guys can see anything. I will say I can probably wear this in uniform because of how pale it is. Okay. I'm gonna go into this darkest shade. This, I'm gonna pick up my pencil brush to get a more precise lay down in the outer V. It's like it's disappearing. You just have to work to build it. Okay, so we deepen it up a little bit. It's pretty. It is starting to build. That is the darkest shade, and I used a pencil brush to kind of build it up. So if you want something that is just a little kind of like wash of color, this is that palette. I'm going to go into this beautiful glittery shade. This I'm going to pick up on my ring finger and place it. Like a wash of glitter. It's pretty, but this might not be everyone's cup of tea. Let me go ahead and do this eye and I'll be back because I have some new base products. Okay, I picked up a new primer. This is the iconic London Velvet Smooth Pore Refining Primer. I'm really excited to try this. The last few that I've tried, like one from Stila, the blurring smoothing. Stila has a good one. Cali Ray has a good blurring primer. So I'm excited to try this and I'm really hoping that I like it. So that's what that looks like. It's just kind of like a white cream. It is made in Italy, which is promising. There's a lot of good products that come out of Italy. It does feel a little bit slippy, not like thick silicone. It's a whipped, balmy formula, glides effortlessly onto the skin, instantly smoothing out texture for a flawlessly airbrushed look. Okay, let's see. Let's look through the mirror. It does look like it smoothed it out in this area, which is my more porous area right through here. And even up here on my forehead. Okay, it does look very smooth. So we'll see how it looks when I try out a new foundation and a new concealer, which are usually two of my no-nos. If I'm gonna do a new primer, I use a foundation that I'm used to using. Same thing if I'm using a new foundation, I'll use a primer I'm used to, but these are viral on TikTok and I needed to pick them up. This is the Kosas BB Burst Tinted Gel Cream. It is literally all over my TikTok For You page and I saw it and had to pick it up. And then I also picked up their concealer, the Revolver concealer. So I picked my BB Burst Up in shade Medium Neutral, and then my concealer in 4.5 Neutral. So we have those. Don't have a new powder, so we're just going to use one that I know, which is my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. Alright, so this has an air pump. It's going to push everything up, and I'm kind of nervous because it's a BB cream. Tinted gel cream. But the videos that I've seen on TikTok, I want to try it so bad. So my fingers are crossed that this just works and looks beautiful. So we'll start with that. I like almost covered all of my redness. And I have a lot from snowboarding. My nose has been going through it. It's like raw from snowboarding. That looks so nice on the skin. There is still some redness shining through right here, but I'm not mad at that because I put blush on. It's gonna probably disappear. I'm interested to see how it looks once I use everything and set it. Okay, I wonder if it's a little buildable because it's right there. So far it looks pretty good. We're not done yet, we'll see. I think this is one of the first BB creams I've actually been able to like use and like. It's actually quite nice. It is pretty sheer though, which it's a BB cream. So for me, I'm gonna see if I can build it up a little bit more, only because I have some dark spots right here. Growing up in Florida, being out in the sun, I have not always been so nice to my skin. It doesn't look horrible, and it looks like my pores are still pretty smoothed out, including the lines on the top of my forehead. I think the primer is doing its job. We'll definitely have to try it with another foundation that I know that I like. Okay, so far so good. Get my powder ready. We're just going to start on one eye and see, because I don't know how quickly it dries down. That actually looks really nice. So let's go ahead and do the other side. All right, let's go ahead and set it. That actually looks really smooth. It is a BB cream. I have to remind myself of that. It's not a medium coverage, gonna make everything disappear. It looks nice on my skin. Is it my, like, everyday? I don't know. I want to try it with another primer. Now that it's set, it does look a little powdery. I do still need to do setting spray. That's also going to make it liquefy down. It depends. So at the end of this, I will give a full critique. But as of right now, like, I'm on the fence. I don't know that I'm in love with it, but I don't know that I hate it completely. Okay, so I did my contour and my bronzer. Nothing too crazy because we are fairly cool toned. My lips need some more moisture. I've been using the Beauty. This is at Sephora. It's their lip oil, which is so juicy. And this one's in the scent Candy Apple. It smells so delicious. Now, we need to finish off this eye look because the next product that I am so excited, and they have been everywhere as well. So let's go ahead and finish off the eyes. All right, I'm gonna go back into this pinky shade. I'm gonna pick it up on my small compacted smudge brush. It's building. Okay, now into this gray shade, I'm just stamping it into place. Okay, and now into this deep, dark gray shade. This one, I'm gonna use my pencil brush for. Okay, now these, I only picked up 3 of them and there's 4 of them, but I kind of regret not getting the other shade. Maybe I'll go back and get it depending on how I feel about them. These are the new Milk Makeup Cooling Water Jelly Tints. They're so cute. They're super tiny. They're the normal containers we're used to from Milk. These are just very cute. Usually they're, hold on. Usually they look a lot like this with the clear tops. These are so cute. I love the components for them, but these are supposed to be like a cooling effect for blush. All right, so I have the peachy shade, which is Spritz. And look at it. It looks like there was a candy when I was growing up that looked like this. There's push pops, there's the ring pops, and then there was like a jelly candy. And it's like, it's kind of squishy. Like, can you see that? It's so interesting. All right, so I swatched that one right there. Just kind of like a wash of color. Then we have Burst. Okay. And then Splash. And they look very similar. This one's lighter, this one's supposed to be darker. They're like blending together now. I think I'm gonna use this one, and I'm nervous because I did already set my face with my powder. It could be a mistake. We'll see. Let's see, because it is a tint, so I'm wondering if, like, I just want to go wash it off. It is staying a little bit behind, so it's probably gonna stain your face. Okay. Do I just like tap? What do I do? Okay. It is very like cooling to the feel. Oh no! Where? Come on, blend out, because I gotta take Luke some food on duty. Alright, so don't go directly on your skin. Maybe just tap it on with your finger. Because like right here, it's a little bit deeper. You know what this reminds me of? Like Renaissance in like France, when they would do just like the flush of color right here on their cheeks. I've been watching Outlander. I love history, but like some of the period pieces, just, this reminds me of just like that flush of color when you rouged your cheeks. You guys, I don't know how I feel about this. Can I go on with my brush? This is like, now I kind of regret buying 3 of them. Should have just bought 1 of them. I feel like if you go gently, you can kind of like blend it out, but it's just, I don't know. It's not pulling my makeup off. That is a good thing, but is it just a gimmick? I don't know. I'm gonna take my dampened sponge and see, like, can we mute this down a little bit? I did use the darkest shade, of course. I feel like this requires more, like, practice. Alright, I think on this side I'm gonna just see if I can use my sponge. No. Alright, well, I don't know how I feel about this. Let me fix this. Okay, you guys, I am back, and I feel like I got it toned down a little bit, but I kind of feel, especially with the neutral eyeliner in the waterline, I feel like a little, like, baby doll. It could just be that I chose a darker shade than I needed. I did have these 2 light shades. I didn't use either of them. What I did do was I took my foundation brush and just kind of feathered the edges to kind of tone it down a little bit and then repowdered. But I'm gonna have to play around with these to see. They may be better underneath powder and then set them, which is usually what I do with my cream products, but I had powder, bronzer, and contour, so I wasn't gonna do that. It is what it is. I will try them out again. I will update the drop down box and let you guys know how they work out. I feel like if they're on top of cream and then set afterwards, that is the better way to go. But there's only one way to know, and that is to try them out again. Now, this creamy Greige Obsessions, I like it. I did not set this eyeshadow yet. It does feel like it's set down. Like, it doesn't feel like it's still creamy. So I don't know that I needed to set though. I don't know that that powder is necessary. We'll see. I'll look at it before I take my makeup off and see how it is. We do still have the next tutorial where I use this neutral brown creamy Obsessions, which I'm intrigued to try. This one is very fair and light and cool toned, so I'm interested to see what the deeper, darker tones look like. So definitely stay tuned for the rest of that part of the video. Now, these two. The concealer, I like it. I'm going to try it on other foundations, different primers, different setting powders. I don't know how I feel about the BB Burst. My skin doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look great. Like, I can still see my dark spots coming through right through here. Maybe if I was like just going to the beach and I just wanted something to like put on to go to the beach, just a little bit of color to like even out my skin tone, this might be that. I even like the Purlisse BB cream. That one I really, really, really like. But I don't know. And with the powder on it, like, my skin looks a little weird. I'm not 100% about this. But you guys, we still have the tutorial for the neutral browns, and I will check back in with you guys after that. Okay, diving into the neutral brown creamy Obsessions. This is my like usual color story for work if I'm not leaning towards pinks. So I'm interested to see how this looks. I'm gonna go into the lightest tan shade. I want to try this out because with the creamy Greige Obsessions, the shades were very light. And I don't know if it's because I used a fluffy crease brush. Maybe I need to apply them with a finger, but that's they're cream to powder formulas. So I would hope that I'd be able to use a fluffy crease brush. A formulation that I'm used to is from Natasha Denona, and she does cream to powder shadows all the time in her palettes. I absolutely love them. I am getting a little bit of color, not too much showing up on camera, but in the mirror it looks like it's pretty noticeable. I'm gonna step it up and go into the middle tan shade. Actually, it's the darkest tan shade because the next ones are brown. It's building, but I'm not getting in like a very dark shade. I am gonna dip in with my ring finger and see if placing it makes it stand out more. Kind of. I just don't like applying eyeshadows like mattes with my finger. I don't get as much control. I don't mind with shimmers because I just have a small area for shimmers to go in. It is starting to build. I think you're able to see it now on camera a little bit more. You can see the shadow. I'm leaning towards this chocolate brown by the black brown shade, and that I'm going to pick up on my compacted smudge brush. And I'm just trying to stamp it into place before I blend it out. It's still that wash of color. It's not showing up very intense for being a brown shade. So if you like being able to slowly build your makeup, this is probably the palette for you. I am going to dive into this dark brown shade. I'm going to do that with my pencil brush so it can be very precise, because I do want to deepen up this outer corner. Is deepening up nicely with the pencil brush. And now into this beautiful shimmer. Look how stunning that looks. Oh, it's so creamy. This shade compared to the shimmer in the Greige Creamy Obsessions, this seemed to hard pan pretty quickly, whereas this is a very creamy formula and just went on so effortlessly and smooth, whereas this looked like just a smattering of glitter particles. Okay, a quick redemption with these. I have been using them since the first time I tried them. You need to put them on cream products before you set your face. Do not powder and then try and apply them. They don't move around like they should. So I'm gonna use the same color that I did earlier in the video to show you. It's just so beautiful. I have been using these two shades because they are lighter. I've been using them for work and they blend out beautifully on cream. So I still place it on the skin. Just tap it where you want it to be and then you can blend it out. And it's so much prettier because it doesn't seem to like cling to the powder. It was like on top of the powder, once you placed it, that's where it stayed. It would move around a little bit, but not to the point that you just get that kind of like a popsicle stain. When I was a little kid, we would eat popsicles, red ones or purple ones, to change the colors of our lips. And it just, that's what this reminds me of, is just popsicle stained blush. Which this is also meant for your lips. also like that you can build it. So you could just have a very light stain, or you could build it to be very intense. So much better than the first part of this video. But that is why I try this stuff, so you guys don't have to waste your money and then find that you don't like it. A little bit of a kiss on the nose. Then I just have Carmex on my lips. The winter weather has been doing great for my lips, but I would love to see it as a stain. Look at that, it is so pretty. This with like a lip gloss on top of it. So pretty. I think I need to bring it forward a little bit more. Ever so slightly. I am going back in with my Huda Beauty Easy Bake loose setting powder. I'm so shiny down here. I did use the BB cream again. The Kosas BB Burst. And now to set all of this. This side is set, this side is not, so it is a little more intense. Let me know what you guys think. The big difference between the Milk Makeup, what is this? Cooling Water Jelly Tints on Cream versus powder, which I did earlier in the video. I prefer it like this. Now, if you want a very intense in your face, definitely put the powder down and then just go and put your cooling stick on top. Now let's go ahead and finish off the under eye. I was thinking about going into the shade first, but I think I'm just gonna skip that step and go into this darker tan shade. We're gonna place it before we blend it out. Now I'm going to go into this deepest brown shade. Switching brushes to the pencil brush. Okay, you guys, this is the final look with the Neutral Brown Creamy Obsessions. I have some thoughts though. I don't know that I'm absolutely in love with these eyeshadow palettes. When it comes to the Greige Creamy Obsessions, I love the color story. My concern and issue is with the lighter shades. They just do not seem to show up on my skin as vibrant or just at all. This shade is the deepest pink, and I don't know if you can see how much I actually dug into it with my fluffy crease brush, but I don't think I should have to hit pan to get a beautiful pink just in the crease. Now, the gray shades I do think were really pretty. I used my pencil brush with them. Even a compacted smudge brush would probably make them show up a little bit more. Although I say that, but in the neutral brown creamy obsessions, I used my compacted smudge brush with this shade and it just kind of gave a wash of brown. I used my pencil brush with this deep dark shade and it showed up, but it's not as much of an intense payoff as you might expect. So if that's what you're looking for, you're not going to necessarily get that with these palettes. I like the idea of the cream to powder shadows. When I used the Greige Cream Obsessions that night when I took my makeup off, they still hadn't creased. I never set them with the powder, so I don't know that the powder is necessary unless you have very oily eyelids. That might be the case. And I have oily skin, so it just depends. Also, I did prime my eyes with an eyeshadow base. Maybe if you don't use an eyeshadow primer, you would have a different effect. Later on down the road, they might crease, you might need to set them. Just playing around with them could give you a better idea. But my habit is eyeshadow base, then my shadows, and they stayed in place the entire night. So I like the quality of them. They do stay where they're supposed to be. I wish they were a little more pigmented, maybe deeper shades, because I know on darker skin tones, they may show up, but even with the primer that I had, which is a little bit lighter, they weren't showing as much with the lighter pink shades. That's just my thoughts. And I don't think I should have to work that hard with a light shadow, especially because I have palettes in my collection that have better color payoff, but they're powder. They're not the same cream to powder formula. Even, like I said, the Natasha Denona palettes has the cream to powder formula in it, and I've been able to get a very good color payoff with those shadows. So I'm interested to see if she puts out other palettes with deeper shades. I do like this one over the Greige just because it is deeper tones. I could wear this to work, especially if I don't build it up as deep as I did today. The shimmer in the neutral brown, so creamy, buttery. When I went to apply it on this side, I didn't have to dip back into the pan. What was still left on my ring finger actually applied on this side and got it very even. I still had more product left. So dipping in slightly will give you a very good color payoff. Whereas the shimmer in the Greige Obsessions is already starting to look like it's hard panning. So when I go to swatch this, it's just, maybe it's just the type of shimmer it is. Whereas with this, I just barely touch it, and so they're two different types of formulas, at least from what it looks like to me. So in the neutral browns, it's a very foiled, smooth formula. And then in the Greige, it's kind of like a smattering of glitter. Now, the Kosas BB Burst, this is the third time I've used it. It is growing on me. I've been trying different primers. I didn't like it so much with the Stila. It seems like it was a little more dried out. With a hydrating primer, it seems to be doing better. I do want to try it with my NYX Plump Right Back. That might help, or even the e.l.f. niacinamide one that has kind of like a gripping effect like the Milk Makeup. Because when I'm using my hydrating, or even the Stila that I used in the earlier portion of this video, it doesn't get the same coverage. It still isn't covering my dark spots up here. That's fine. It's a BB cream. It's not going to hide all my imperfections. Now, if you have flawless skin, this is probably going to be your holy grail. I wish I didn't have as many issues as I have, but my skin still looks nice. And I did use my Tarte Timeless today where I did the pore filling. I can see some of my pores, but it does still smooth out with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder. It doesn't hide imperfections. That is one thing I will leave you with. It's not going to be one of those medium coverage, buildable to full. This is just a BB cream, something that you could use in the spring or summer when you want light and airy makeup. Other than that, it is what it says it is. It is a gel-like BB cream, and it is really nice on the skin. Don't get too close because I can see my imperfections when I get really close with the mirror. But on a no makeup day, this is something that I would reach for. If I have a glam event, this is staying in the makeup drawer. And then the Redemption. These Milk Makeup Cooling Jelly Tints. So beautiful. I think it turned out much better today where I put it on top of my cream products and then powdered. Whereas when I did my powder and then I tried these out, it just seemed to cling in place and it wouldn't blend out and lighten up in tone. Whereas right now it looks like I used a popsicle to tint my skin and just kind of get that glow from within for my blush. I do like this. And then the stain. So this is literally just the Kosas Plump and Juicy Collagen Lip Boost on top of this one that I put on earlier, which is Splash. So what I have on my cheek is also what I have on my lips. And then I just used a clear non-tinted lip gloss on top and it looks so beautiful. But you guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Put your comments down below. I am really intrigued to know your thoughts. Are you picking these up? Do you have similar feelings to the Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes? Let me know. Let's have that conversation down in the comments. But you guys, before you leave, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos. And if you like this video, make sure you hit a big thumbs up. Until my next video, you guys, bye. And I'll see you in the next one.